In this remix video, we are going to analyze what is censored, how it is censored, why it is censored, and what the effects of censorship are. More specifically, we are going to focus on these aspects of censorship by analyzing the United States, China, and how films are shown in the two countries. Throughout our analysis and research, we have determined that censorship reinforces heterosexual cultural norms within each country and restricts people from living the open queer life that they might want to live. U.S. censorship and China censorship. The censorship in the United States is a lot different from the type of censorship that is used in China. There are two different types of censorship between the two countries. To censor queer media, China most commonly uses direct censorship. Direct censorship is when scenes are cut out of the film completely. China's National Radio and Television Administration included homosexuality in the obscene pornography and vulgar content. The U.S. uses indirect censorship. This type of censorship is when queer scenes are never included in the first place. An example of this is how queer media doesn't include scenes of queer characters having sex. The film Bohemian Rhapsody is a perfect example of these two types of censorship. The film, as shown in China, silences and suppresses the gay community because the scenes are not included and are deleted. The film didn't have this type of effect on the American gay community because the scenes were not deleted and the people felt like the queer community was visible. A film that is a good example of indirect censorship in the United States is Moonlight. This scene is a good example of indirect censorship because instead of showing the two characters having a sexual encounter, they show the back of the two characters so that the viewer can only infer that the two are having a sexual encounter.
Moving on, we now focus our attention to the film Brokeback Mountain. The story features two men looking for work who ultimately get a job herding sheep on Brokeback Mountain. The characters all at this time fall in love, but are not willing to openly love each other. The film was shown in the United States without any direct censorship. People raved over the movie, and the idea there was a highly successful film featuring two homosexual characters. However, even Brokeback Mountain was always regarded as a queer film. The marriage scenes, masculinity, and binary sex system in the movie are still trying to enforce the idea of heteronormativity. It could be a kind of indirect censorship when making the film. The film had a much different impact in China. At the time when the film was released, it was not allowed to be shown in the theater and the censors would edit it out. This negatively impacted the film and the impact it had because people could not be exposed to queer films.
Ultimately, we argue that any type of censorship equals to homosexuality being praised. This leads members of the queer community to believe that being gay is not okay. Here are some interesting facts about the effects of censorship in China.
Only 3% of gay men and 6% of gay women in China describe themselves as completely out. Social prejudice also still remains. Half of those who come out to relatives are rejected to them, and the pressures to marriage in China is high. About 17% of gay Chinese have entered into a heterosexual marriage.
The United States experiences much of the same as China, even though the type of censorship is different. People within the queer community find it harder to come out as gay to family members. If there isn't films about the homosexuality being embraced, then the queer community will never feel embraced. We propose that in order to people to live their open queer life, both China and the United States needed to stop censoring queer films. This is not only conducive to the development and exchange of queer culture, but also has great significance for the gay community in real life. When queer culture does not need to be hidden, queer groups can truly live freely under the sun.